Association of Belize held its first AGM after officially formulating the new association late last year. This was after the Belize Evangelical Association suspended all non-Belize city pastors, leaving behind a handful of Belize city pastors under that banner. Most of those pastors kicked out of the Belize Evangelical Association went under the banner of the newly formed National Evangelical Association of Belize. On Monday, February 29th, the National Evangelical Association of Belize displayed its strength in numbers as hundreds of pastors from all over the country converged at the Belmopan Civic Center for updates and decisions not only on church matters, but also on issues of national importance. It was a huge turnout, and President of NEAB, Pastor Lance Lewis, told us why he thinks the historic turnout was so positive.
I think the reason why they have come, there is seemingly a momentum to want to reach the nation. In November 2015, we formed the the National Evangelical Association of Belize, and we went into all the districts. We had people coming to Belmopan, and we have diversified the whole evangelical setup in Belize. More people are involved, more people are stakeholders, more people are coming together to see this nation won for Christ. So I think it's the Spirit of the Lord and the new trust to reach the entire country that has caused this influx of persons to Belmopan.
Pastor Lance says NEAB's AGM will hopefully send the message that the church is alive and well in the country of Belize and ready to go the distance in seeing positive change in the nation. He told us more about the content of the general meeting.
The cervical cancer was the first presentation done by Dr. Sabido. I met Dr. Sabido about 3 weeks ago at a forum in Belize. That's a 2-to-1 forum. And he was presenting the situation that is so many children are at risk, and they're going to roll out a program to reach the age 10 and over in Belize that are having this problem. Because Belize now has a percentage of 25% persons that are infected by cervical cancer. And it has started at a young age. And so they want to see that this is stopped. So they're going to be rolling out a program for the schools starting in Standard 4 to help to address the situation and to stop the spread of cervical cancer in the nation. The other major issue is the matter of decriminalization of the marijuana. Our young people are at risk in so many ways. I've been to schools where a lot of students are on drugs. There are some students into emo. There are students who are planning to kill themselves. Some have succeeded. And so now to give them another thing that will be taking them away from targeting and focusing on the studies and so on is a route down. Decriminalization of marijuana will only cause more people to become under the influence of drug. They will become just carefree and don't care, and it will be a further feather in the cap of Satan. And we do not want this nation to go into the hands of Satan. We want this nation to be a nation under Almighty God.
While it was not discussed at today's AGM, Pastor Lance says NEAB will also be addressing the issue of alcohol, another societal ill, in the near future. While these issues are important to be addressed by the church, Pastor Lance says the main focus of NEAB is to see the lost saved. He says that towards that end, there will be a concerted drive to see evangelical outreach increase.
Every Home for Christ is planned to go to every nook and cranny, but also Daniel King's evangelistic ministry will try to cover the nation, having evangelistic outreach, different parts of the nation, having a major one in the center of the nation between Belmopan and Belize City. So our whole trust and our whole aim and plan is to see this nation turn back to God and become a lighthouse in Central America and in the world.
Vice President of NEAB, Pastor Victor Hernandez, brought with him to the AGM some 200 pastors from the south of the country. He was asked how it is that the southern pastors have become so unified.
That we believe, right, is that when the enemy comes against you, that God takes that and turns it around for your good. And it's been a couple of years now since we had to deal with the gender policy, and that was the unifying point for Toledo. That brought the churches together from all different denominations. In fact, that's when we actually formed the Southern Region Pastors Association. We started with about 60 churches, and now we have a membership of 125 churches. And in fact, like you said, we brought 200 to this meeting, and we had 10 more applications came in, right? And these are from maybe I would say probably 15 different denominations. So this is what's happening in Toledo. Like when we have a prayer gathering now, we have 2,000, 3,000. And like you said, this Toledo Healing Crusade, we had over 55 to 60 pastors involved. And some nights we had as much as 2,000 some people. We had 38 buses coming from every village. Like right now at this meeting, every village in Toledo is represented.
Pastor Vic also gave a word of encouragement to those pastors who may still be on the sidelines.
Been hearing for a long time that revival is coming to Belize, and we have gotten prophetic word on that, right? Well, that's never going to take place unless we, the church, begin to look outside of our walls and beyond our names. There's only one church in Belize, and it's the Church of Jesus Christ. I mean, the church he's building. Yes, we might have different names on the doors, but we've got to go beyond those doors. I believe that there's a unifying factor. We can unify around Jesus, and I believe that I would encourage churches in the other districts to begin to do the same. As you begin to do that, then God's going to begin to work in your district. I mean, we have seen God work tremendously in our district, and it's all because of this.
It is noteworthy that NEAB drafted a statement